Which leads me to the next thing, which is I attended this conference, which was fascinating. The California Homicide Investigators Association, horribly acronymed CHIA.
Okay.
But in Las Vegas.
It's like a convention?
It's all murder cops from California. They get together once a year. They go to seminars.
Is there cosplay?
There's just seminars and gambling and drinking. The seminars are fascinating. I was allowed to wear the lanyard.
That's awesome.
So I turned it around and looked. I put on a face of a San Jose hardened female detective. No one knew the better.
Did cosplay. Well played.
I went to many seminars.
Do you wear a blazer?
No, I didn't. I probably didn't even pull it off because I looked way too happy to be there. Wow. But my goal was to just sort of have some takeaways of just what cop life and all this kind of stuff, and just little things that stuck with me after the 2 days of really spending a lot of time drinking and gambling with these fellas. I mean, $5 blackjack. These are not high rollers.
Right.
But two things that I'll say that I thought were interesting is there was this Ben Affleck-like looking sergeant from Northern California who's the most sort of chivalrous, nicest guy who wouldn't swear, and we were drinking, we were really getting along. And I was just kind of trying to say, what being like a homicide detective, what could you tell me, was your biggest takeaway, or what would you say, all this stuff. And he was really kind of struggling to articulate anything. And as the drunker and drunker he got, all of a sudden he just got really quiet. And he looks me in the eye and he goes, "Men are shit."
Oh.
And it was
that's his takeaway.
That was his takeaway. And it was so succinct. And he goes, "I could say a lot of things, but I'm just going to tell you this. Men are shit." And I was like, wow. And he goes, "And I'm a man and I have a son. And then that's what I've learned being a cop." And I'm like, wow. And,
well, teach your son not to. And that's, I mean, that's, I guess. It's I mean, and the thing is I think we both hang around with a great number of men.
Right.
And most of the men I know are decent, great dudes.
Right. I mean, that's what he said. He actually is like, I could qualify it with a million things.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the horrors that I see are mostly at the hands of men. And it's not the men we know, and it's not the men in these rooms.
Yeah.
Some of them probably.
Maybe.
But he's like, it's just what it is.
It's mostly
the vast majority of violent crimes
are guys, and they're bad guys. And so that's.
And then the other thing that I found, just little things I found interesting is I was like, "What's your favorite thing that ever happens in an interrogation room?"
Yeah.
And this one guy goes, "I love it when everyone looks for the head tilt." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "When you're interrogating someone and you see their head start to go down, you've got them, because people will people go like this. You can't see me, but I'm putting my head down. That is when they're going to confess, because no one will look you in the eye and confess. They always do that."
Oh, interesting.
And he was like, "So we literally are trained to look for the tilt to the head,
and
to keep going because we know we've got them."
Right, because not now they're on the ropes.
Yeah,
okay.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. Note to self: if I ever decide to go into a life of crime.
Yeah, and although Patton, I've interrogated him endlessly, and he never does the head tilt, and I know he's lied right to my face. I'm like, I know you put that laundry on the floor of our laundry room.
First of all,
clean laundry.